The price of the new Zeekr 7X completely shocked the entire audience. At the reveal in Sydney, they revealed the price. No one knew what it was going to be. And there was just almost complete silence until somebody went, woohoo! Because everyone was just sitting there thinking to themselves, what? Are you serious? Is this a joke?
The launching price is 72,900. And our long range RWD price, launching price is 63,900. Wow.
And honestly, I think some of the media that I've spoken to in person are still thinking to themselves, it's too good to be true. But it isn't. Here's the thing though. I've been told by Zeekr, this is an introductory price. Of course, it includes some introductory things like a longer warranty and some charging cables and stuff. That apparently is just for the first 1,000 cars. And after that, the price will go back to some form of normality. I mean, this is the cheapest EV, I believe, outside of China, anywhere in the world with a 100 kilowatt hour battery. For you guys in the United States, to give some context, $40,000 US for an EV with 450 kilowatt charging, DC, 22 kilowatt AC, and a 100 kilowatt hour chill-in CATL NMC battery. I mean, very advanced battery pack. And really, I mean, that's what, 7 or 8 Tesla Powerwalls plus one of the most advanced electric cars in the world for $40,000 US. You kind of maybe get my point now. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. There's been a lot of misinformation out there. The media have gotten all this, they've done all these reports and stories saying this is optional. You've got to pay extra to get the heads-up display. You've got to pay extra for this. That feature doesn't come with the car. And I don't know why they've reported this stuff, because it's really easy to look on Zeekr's website and to find out what the car does or doesn't come with. So to clear things up for you guys and to kind of show you why, I went ahead and placed an order, you can see the specs here. The base model, rear-wheel drive, 75 kilowatt hour golden brick battery. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery. It can charge at 480 kilowatt. So that's the fastest charging of the three. The other two charge at 450 kilowatts. So the medium spec model with the 100 kilowatt hour battery, the long range, and the all-wheel drive, both the charging is a little slower. But anyway, it's all the three of them will charge the fastest of any cars in Australia. So the base model, you can charge from 10 to 80% with a 360 kilowatt DC charger in 13 minutes. The rear-wheel drive long range, you can charge in 16 minutes, and the all-wheel drive performance, you can charge in 16 minutes. Now, a lot of people have been saying, I've been reading this on forums, and I think it's people who have bought a different car, so they kind of feel like they want to justify purchasing another car, and that's totally fine, I understand that. They're saying there's no point buying this car, 450 kilowatt charging, there's no point. There's no chargers in Australia, so what's the point? Well, actually, there is a point. Now, if you bought an EV that has 100 kilowatt charging or 150 kilowatt, it's not the end of the world. But I mean, still, I think if you can get an electric car with 450 kilowatt charging, why would you not? I mean, it's like saying no to extra stuff, So here's the thing. If you can charge the battery in 13 minutes on a 360 kilowatt charger, I mean, I haven't found a 360 kilowatt charger in Australia, but I've charged on 350 kilowatt chargers at least 30 times, at least. There's 350 kilowatt chargers in many, many locations around Australia. I mean, I reckon I know of at least 50, maybe 100. So they're also more of those are being installed right now. The government actually is incentivizing high-speed chargers to be built out. So actually that charging speed is completely relevant, and it's a big difference. Charging your car in 15 minutes, mostly, versus say 35 minutes. That's a pretty big difference. If you're on a road trip and you've got to charge, let's say you're driving from Melbourne to Sydney, or Melbourne to Newcastle, or Sydney to Brisbane, and you've got to charge a couple of times, it's going to make a difference for sure. So what else do we know? Well, max power, 310 kilowatt, 440 newton meters. That's the rear-wheel drive standard model. It also has 480 kilometers of range, and as I mentioned before, a 22 kilowatt AC onboard charger, meaning you can charge the battery from 10 to 100% in 4.5 hours. The rear-wheel drive long range has a 100 kilowatt hour NCM nickel cobalt manganese battery from CATL. It gets the same motor, 310 kilowatt, 440 newton meters, and it'll do 0 to 100 in 6 seconds, which is exactly the same time as the rear-wheel drive standard base model. Not super fast, but it's certainly fast enough. Range, 615 kilometers. And same thing, 22 kilowatt AC charging. So you can charge that battery in 5.5 hours if you can find a 22 kilowatt AC charger. The all-wheel drive performance gets 2 motors, 100 kilowatt hour battery, the same battery as the long range rear-wheel drive, 475 kilowatt, 710 newton meters of torque in total, can do 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds, and it gets the same charging as the others. Now, what are the differences between the 3 models? And I think this is what needs to be clarified, because journalists on numerous websites, in fact, almost all of them, have gotten this information pretty wrong. First of all, the price. The price for the base model is 57,900 Australian dollars. It does have a dealer delivery fee of about $2,700. Tesla's dealer delivery fee is $1,800 in total, including your ordering fee. So that is something to consider. But so do a lot of other luxury car brands as well. So it's probably not out of the norm for what is considered a luxury car. The long-range rear-wheel drive is $63,900, meaning it costs exactly $6,000 more to get the bigger battery. The all-wheel drive costs $72,900, so an additional $9,000. That means the all-wheel drive long range is $15,000 more than the base model. So $15,000 more. What are you getting for your $15,000? Well, a few things the media have not mentioned, strangely. One, you get bigger brakes. The all-wheel drive performance has bigger brakes than the other 2 models, the long range rear-wheel drive or the standard range. So bigger brakes. It also gets air suspension. And that air suspension also has continuous damping. It sounds a bit like magnetic dampers. I'm not exactly sure on that, but it's got a continuous damping. Basically, it's got significantly better suspension, the all-wheel drive version, than the other 2 versions. You also get, of course, more power. Yeah, that front motor, which is going to improve your performance, 3.8 seconds, 0 to 100. That's nice. Different wheels, 21-inch wheels, so bigger forged wheels. So they're forged wheels, meaning they're actually quite lightweight for the size that. It's unusual to get forged wheels on a car unless it's an actual real serious performance car. Different tires. It's got wider, bigger tires. Now, as a result of those wider, bigger tires and those bigger rims, the range, and of course the fact that it's got an additional motor, meaning it's a little heavier, the range goes down from 615 kilometers in the long-range rear-wheel drive to 543 kilometers. So you do lose about, 67 kilometers of range. About 70 kilometers of range, I should say. Now, before I fix up some of the other mistakes from the media, the size, dimensions, it's 4,787 millimeters long. Width is 1,930 millimeters. The height, 1,650 millimeters. And wheelbase, 2,900 millimeters. Ground clearance. Okay, ground clearance has also been mistakenly reported by the media. It is not 172 millimeters for every model. It's 172 millimeters for the base model and the long-range rear-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive has air suspension, meaning its suspension can lift itself to 232 millimeters, which means it will be significantly higher suspension, well, not significantly, but actually higher than the Subaru Forester, which is considered to be an off-road vehicle. So that's the other thing you're getting in the all-wheel drive version. It's really set up to do some serious off-roading in it. And I know that sounds crazy and people are going to probably laugh at that, but the truth is, you won't be laughing when you've seen the videos from China showing how good this car is off-road. The performance all-wheel drive is a legitimate all-wheel drive performance. It's a legitimate off-roading car. You can seriously use it off-road. Now, honestly, 21-inch wheels are not at all good for off-roading. Absolutely not. But shockingly, it still works really well off-road from all the videos that I've seen. Unfortunately, I was invited to go and test it on an off-road course in China, but wasn't able to do it. So that's the big feature of the all-wheel drive performance model. Not only is it a performance car, but it is also very capable off-road. Boot capacity is 539 litres and 1,978 litres with the rear seats folded. So why is the boot smaller than the Tesla Model Y size boot or the Xpeng G6? I think it's got a bit more space in the back seats. From my experience sitting in the back seats, and I noticed there was quite a lot of space between my knees and the seat in front of me. So it's more kind of set up for passenger space than cargo space. That said, there is a fair bit of space underneath that boot floor, an additional 2 sections that you can put stuff in underneath the boot floor. Plus there is a frunk. The frunk in the rear-wheel drive versions of this car, both of them, I think it's about 60 something litres. In the all-wheel drive version, it's about 40 litres. So the all-wheel drive version has a smaller frunk. What about the warranty? Well, the warranty is 5 years if you don't buy it now. If you buy it now within the next month or so, if you're one of the first 1,000 orders, it's actually a 7-year warranty. And it's 7-year unlimited kilometer warranty. If you buy it after the 1,000 orders, it's a 5-year unlimited kilometer warranty. Battery warranty is 8 years and 160,000 kilometers, which is pretty much the same for all EVs in Australia. So the features the long-range rear-wheel drive gets, the mid-spec model, over and above the base model, are rear privacy glass, which I think is something you want, particularly for driving at nighttime. A 36.2-inch heads-up display. All the media reports, for some weird reason, said that was an option. It's not an option. It's definitely not. It's standard. So you don't have to pay extra for that. Power adjustable steering wheel, ventilated front seats, massaging front seats, and of course, that much bigger battery. The performance all-wheel drive gives you the 21-inch forged alloy wheels, the bigger tires, the better brakes, air suspension, continuous damping control, automatic electric doors. So the doors aren't just automatic, they actually open all the way to a complete right angle. So you can fit in, say, older people more easily, or children, or babies and baby seats and things like that. If that's going to be something that might benefit you, that might be a good option for you. What you can also do is completely open the door from inside the car. That could be a good option for Uber potentially. You just press a button and it opens the door. And I was thinking to myself, will it open the door and hit in other things? Because it opens really wide, but it doesn't. It notices what's around it and it only goes as far as it can in order not to hit stuff. So that's a really cool feature, I thought. Nappa leather upholstery. Now, the Nappa leather is not just Nappa leather. It's actually, looking at Zeekr's website, there's 2 grades of Nappa leather, and it's the more expensive grade of Nappa leather, which is meant to be much nicer. In addition, it gets rear side glass power sunshade. So these sunshades that are electric and they come up from inside the windows. So those are the extra features or the extra stuff you get for the long-range rear-wheel drive and the performance all-wheel drive. I personally think the best 2 choices to get here, and the cars that are going to sell the most, will be the long-range rear-wheel drive. The number 1 and number 2, I think, will be the performance all-wheel drive. What do you guys think? Which one do you think is the best value? Standard features on all 3 models include standard features on both the long-range rear-wheel drive and the base rear-wheel drive includes 19-inch alloy wheels. Now, other standard features on all models of cars are LED headlights, rain-sensing wipers, a panoramic glass roof with power sunshade, autonomous parking assist, Sentry mode, 13-inch digital instrument cluster, 16-inch touchscreen. So the touchscreen's actually a more advanced touchscreen. So it's got extremely high clarity. If you want to watch movies and stuff on there, that's the kind of thing you're probably going to notice. And I believe it's the first touchscreen that is more on the market that has micro LED. So better definition touchscreen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless, both standard, sat nav, 10 speaker sound system. So this is one of the difference with the cars that the media haven't reported on. The base model gets a 10-speaker sound system, but the long-range rear-wheel drive and the performance both get a 21-speaker sound system, which sounds amazing. It really does. And honest, any of you that get in there and test it, I'm pretty sure you're going to be saying, Sam, you were right. The sound system is incredible. 250-watt wireless phone chargers, tri-zone climate control, 4-zone voice command, ambient lighting, leatherette upholstery. That's kind of like fake leather. That's on the long-range rear-wheel drive and the base model. 14-way power driver seat with memory, 10-way power passenger seat with memory, heated front seats, heated rear seats. Now, of course, the long-range rear-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive both get ventilated and massaging seats as well. Rear bench with 10-degree power recline. So this is a pretty cool feature. I'm in the back seat and I'm going to press a little button here, and that's going to enable me to recline this. Well, actually right now I'm coming up so you can get more boot space now. And now I'm going to bring that seat down. So you can see it's coming all the way down. And you can see that the seat is on quite an angle. And now, because I have used this button here to push that front seat forward, I have enormous space here. You can electronically adjust how much the rear seats recline. So I think that's really cool. If you're going on a long trip, it's going to be much more comfortable for your rear passengers. They can recline the back seats quite easily, and you can do that. But if you want more passenger space, you can recline those rear seats back to their sort of straight up position. Now, there is also a really nice steering wheel, extremely good quality steering wheel. It's both heated and leather wrapped, and it's extremely nice. Guys, I personally have chosen to get the green, I don't know if you'd call it British racing green, or that's what it kind of reminds me of, but it's called forest green. So I think that's the best color. Not everyone agrees with me, but what do you guys think? Now, guys, from having sat in one of these and having really spent quite a bit of time now, several hours, in fact, in one of these cars, around one of these cars, and having my colleagues having tested the Zeekr 7X on numerous occasions in China, I've got to say I think the price of this car is just ridiculous. Nobody expected it to be this price, considering all those features you're getting standard and the quality of the interior, the quality of the entire car. It's just an amazing deal. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.